Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Atlanta Family Church Prayer Vigil Day 102. And today we're going to start off a vow with Heavenly Parents and your parents. So let's join me in this vow. Janjin Shampamunim Kimbe Paro. All right, let us do the family pledge. Number 1, our family, the owner of Eternal Guk, pledges to seek our original homeland and build the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven, the original ideal of creation, by centering on true love. 2, our family, the owner of Eternal Guk, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending the Heavenly Parent and true parents. We pledge to perfect the dutiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. 3, our family, the owner of Eternal Guk, pledges to perfect the 4 great realms of heart, the 3 kingships, and the realm of the royal family by centering on 4, our family, the owner of Eternal Guk, pledges to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is the Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. 5, our family, the owner of Eternal Guk, pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. Number 6, our family, the owner of Eternal Guk, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying the Heavenly Parent and true parents, and to perfect the family that conveys heaven's blessing to our community by centering on true love. 7, our family, the owner of Eternal Guk, pledges through living for the sake of others to perfect the world based on the culture of heart, which is rooted in the original lineage by centering on true love. And number 8, our family, the owner of Eternal Guk, pledges having entered the era of Eternal Guk to achieve the ideal of God and human beings united in love through absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience, and to perfect the realm of liberation, complete freedom in the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven by centering on true love. Right. And may I ask, actually, Mr. Reverend Kimura, if you can offer a prayer for this morning.
Yes, Heavenly Parent, I want to be able to parents heaven and not to be on earth. We are grateful to come here together. Thank you for the you have called us and to represent this Atlanta community. And at this time, this historical time, and be able to work together with true mother of this earth and true father in the spiritual realm. And thank you for you having giving us all the grace. I don't know how many times we have received, and continuously, you as a parent and true parent and our true parents representing our heavenly parent, giving us, showing us the how the heavenly parent appearing through them, giving us the truth and true love. We are grateful to come here together, and we are praying for this today and also tomorrow for the celebration of True Father. And please help us, continue to guide us so that we can cleanse ourselves, and then also we can pray for all people throughout Atlanta, throughout Georgia, and find a way to convey and testify to our true parents to all people. Thank you for this morning. I hope for this prayer in our names together. Haruki Carmen Kimura President of Family. Aju.
Andrew, thank you, Reverend Camaro. All right, and let us go into our breakout rooms to talk about our gratitudes for the morning. Getting off the right side of the bed once again, to really think about how God blessed us this morning. So let us go into our breakout rooms. All right, see you all in about 7 minutes. And those on YouTube, you know what to do. Same exact thing. But make sure that you find that time to either reflect on your gratitude or find somebody that's actually nearby you. All right. See you in 7 minutes. All right, welcome back to the main room, everybody. Welcome back to Atlanta Family Church Prayer Vigil Day 102. To ask two people to share this morning about their gratitudes. The first person I'd like to ask to share is Mr. Gordon. If you'd like to share this morning about your gratitude.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, my gratitude is that I recently came back from Canada, 12 days in Canada, visiting my daughter and her husband. And I stayed at his father owns an Airbnb on a lake, and every day there's new people coming, passing through. And it's kind of being in a mini workshop because he's always talking about big love, and he'll offer like these guests coming through, would you like a latte this morning? Just offering them, some kind of love, and it really affects them, it impacts them. And during their a lot of them do reviews, and they always mention, the kind of that extra love that they feel. And what I was just there 12 days, but there was already a couple people there that were guests that decided to come back and study principle. So one woman was from Cameroon. Her husband was there for just one day, and then he was telling his wife about Roddy, which is Erica's father-in-law. And so she kind of felt like she knew him, so she came and brought some food, and through discussions, she's from Cameroon, and she's a lawyer in Canada, but she has 300 contacts in Cameroon. And she and her two children are studying principle. And then another is a Chinese student who stayed there for a week, and she found an apartment there. She's studying, but China, they don't have much sense of artistic connection so much. But she has like 800. She's a blogger. She knows she's connected to like 800 people in China. So he's saying, okay, you have to be responsible, try to, convey this principle to those people. So I really felt that this was kind of a magical space where God was really working, because people were making effort to try to create that kind of environment, and there were results. So I felt that. Yeah. And the other thing is, I was with Bofinda and Kyoko-san, and Bofinda made the comment that, here we are, three people, three different races and cultures, and yet, we feel so connected as a family. So it's our hope that, this idea of one family under God can manifest. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon, for your great sharing. Thank you so much. I think last time we asked you to share was you were actually in Canada, so welcome back home. And yeah, that's this great story, great witnessing story as well. It's a very inspiring, very, very inspiring. And also very much inspiring about what Mrs. Bufenda said as well. So thank you so much, Mr. Gordon, for your sharing this morning. Yeah, and one more person I'd like to ask to share as well is Mrs. Ozama, if you'd like to share your gratitude.
Hi, good morning. I was with Sister Asako and then Sister Joyce, and my gratitude was yesterday evening. Sister Martina visited, very short visit to my home, but I felt it's a kind of heaven on earth, just meeting our brothers and sisters and the talk. Just a regular thing, but because we know and we know what we believe and felt that kingdom of heaven on us is there. And also, I missed the Korean program. It started at 1:30 this morning. Asak-san shared about the beautiful event, the singing from different countries and different continents, and the China session, the lead by the brother who has a ponytail, a second gen, but it's not too young. It's a different environment, but very nice speech benefit. Yeah, that'd be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ozama. Yeah, and if everyone didn't know, there's 1:30 this morning. There's also obviously the 8 p.m. tonight. And so sorry, maybe we should have mentioned that for people that wanted to watch it at 1:30 this morning, but I believe they should still have it on IP's TV. But anyway, thank you so much for your sharing, Mrs. Ozama, and thank you, Mr. Gordon, once again. Before we jump into the actual reading, actually, I think it's perfectly fine. Let's just go ahead and jump into the reading, and give me 1 second. 174. We're on page 174. And yes, very relatable topic to me, but let's just continue. Media expressing universal values. 1975 was a time when a shadow of gloom hung over the world. The US pulled out of Vietnam, the April leaving the country in the hands of the communists. People were shocked and horrified as the communists in Vietnam and its neighbor Cambodia slaughtered entire populations. Across the globe, communism was gaining in strength. I was born in North Korea and I experienced firsthand the cruelty of communism and the wretchedness of war. So I knew very well that when Vietnam fell, it would lead to bloody massacres and the spread of its harsh ideology to its neighboring countries. In Japan of the 1970s, the Unification Church was growing, but the communism was also gaining power. Now, the Korean residents in Japan created separate pro-Seoul and pro-Pyongyang groups, and they often engaged in confrontation. My husband and I decided that the most effective way to influence Japan as a free society and protect it from communism would be to create a newspaper. In democratic countries, the media is more often critical than constructive. Trying to gain market shares, editors pander to forces that persecute those who aren't politically correct or who practice a minority religion. My husband and I imagine a different kind of media, one that is constructive and represents fairness and absolute values. With this in mind, in January 1975, we founded the Sekai Nippo newspaper in Tokyo. Our Japanese members had great expectations for the paper, but found that maintaining a newspaper is like climbing a hill, carrying a heavy load on a dark night. Left-wing groups opposed us in every conceivable way. At the same time, however, Sekai Nippo gained support from the law-abiding citizens and anti-communist organizations. It became a newspaper loved by the Japanese people. To this day, Sekai Nippo has fearlessly reported the objective truth. The power of truth protected Japan from communism. Okay. In early 1981, when my husband and I heard the Washington Star, the conservative voice in Washington, D.C., was closing down, we were concerned. There are two well-established newspapers in that city, the Washington Star and the Washington Post. The Star, which had been in operation for over 130 years, had run into financial difficulties. Soon there will be only one newspaper in the most politically powerful city of the United States, and the newspaper, the Washington Post, was left-leaning in its editorial stance. There was a need for a newspaper in Washington that would protect faith, freedom, and family values, and no American conservatives were willing to step into the breach. When my husband and I decided to take this on, people trying to be prudent and wise told us again and again that it would be difficult to publish a new newspaper in the capital of the United States. We had never shied away from the task because it was difficult, and we didn't then. On May 17th, 1982, after a great deal of effort to find a building and printing press and the hire competent dedicated staff, the first issue of the Washington Times was published. Opponents said that the Washington Times would be a propaganda instrument for the Unification Church, but such words reflected prejudice. It is difficult these days to run a newspaper at a profit, and the Washington Times lost money from the outset. Yet its absence would leave no conservative newspaper in the U.S. Capitol. It would mean the newspaper that championed faith and family would have disappeared. Seeing the financial spreadsheet, people wondered how long until they closed down. Nonetheless, the more they doubted us, the greater was my husband and my faith, and the greater was the commitment of the Washington Times staff. Together with them, we resolutely defended democracy while advocating family values, morality, and the role of women. As a result, the newspaper popularity grew. Every year, the paper did better, and now in the age of the internet, it is one of the most influential newspapers in the United States. At a banquet to commemorate the 15th anniversary of the newspaper's founding, we received congratulatory messages from the well-known leaders worldwide. Former President Reagan let people know that the Washington Times played a key role in defeating communism when he said of the newspaper, "Like me, you arrived in Washington at the beginning of the most momentous decade of the century. Together, we rolled up our sleeves and got to work, and oh yes, we won the Cold War." Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher of the United Kingdom also expressed her gratitude. She sent greetings, saying, "In difficult times, even more than in easy ones, the voice of conservatism must make itself heard in the media. It isn't always easy, but of this we can't be sure. We can be sure. While the Washington Times is alive and well, conservative views will never be drowned out." The Times is influential, yet it is not a newspaper appealing only to the elite. It represents all people and inspires citizens to live decent and healthy everyday lives. The Times has established itself as a voice of truth for people all over the world. And we're going to go ahead and finish there at 177. That's a little bit of a shorter chapter, which is, it's good to have a little bit of a more direct chapter for people to reflect on. So during this next 7 minutes, of course, we're going to take time to really reflect on this chapter. But overall, it was a very straightforward chapter about the two chapters that are the two places that we have created the newspaper of Washington Times and the Sekai Nippo as well, and to be able to really fight this communism versus democracy, or in this case, in the later case, conservatism versus democracy, or not democracy, but of conservative versus not democracy specifically, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying. But so there's really a lot of backing for the Washington Times, a lot of backing for the Sekai Nippo, and really what our true parents really try to do is to, one of the sections here is talking about really family values, morality, and the role of women, and to be able to advocate for that, which we need in general, right? We always talk about just the political side of things, but we need a basis of family morality, family values, morality, and the role of women. So it was very influential in the time that it came out, and the time that it is now too. Recently, we've heard that it was one of the only papers during, I believe, 2020 to 2024. No, not 2024. 2016 to 2020. Sorry, 2016 and 2020, I believe. I'm not sure exact years, but yes. Yes, that was the only one in the White House at that time. So I digress, and I'll let us all go into our breakout rooms to talk a little bit more about this passage. Alrighty, just give me 1 second. All right, we'll see you all in 7 minutes. And those people on YouTube, you have the great possibility of going back in time. So we'll see you in about 7 minutes as well. Welcome back to the main room. And I asked two people to share this morning. And the first person I'd like to ask to share is Mr. Bourneface, if you'd like to share this morning.
Yeah, I was remembering in the time Washington Times was bought by True Parent when I was 10 years old. And that time it was so difficult really to connect with people by then, because at that era there was a lot of confusion, there was a lot of communism going on. But I remember anything True Parent touches becomes gold, and that was true. Any kind of business True Father touched, it turns into gold, because he did it for the sake of the war. It was not me. Everything True Parent takes over is always our. It's not mine. He forgets about the mine thing, but he works mostly 24 hours a day, helping the media to grow up so strongly. There were a lot of people who criticized that there was nothing which is going to happen in Washington Times, but because the father works together with God, and he understands God so strongly, deeply than any other person. So I remember in Zambia, each time True Father buys something, whether it has nothing or no financial foundation, as long as Father touches it, it blooms up so strongly. Like I remember we had a sausage factory which True Father bought. In a minute, it ended up supplying the whole entire continent of Africa, and people were so shocked. The fact, the other thing, is, the factory came out from a poor neighborhood, but it ended up supplying all the rich neighborhood, and everybody was surprised. It says they ended up turning the compound into unification, like Trikatani. So the at that time, I remember when we buy or land, we go and holy sort it. We say take it from Satan's dominion to God's dominion. So immediately we buy that land, it's God's dominion. It's like it's God protected land. It becomes God's land. So God starts to protect it and give a lot of wisdom. I was saying mostly when a father buys things, he buys it for we. And most of the people, when they buy some things, they buy it for me. So when you buy something for me, it's so difficult for God to look at it. So when God was looking at the Washington Times, he looks it for the whole purpose. So he protects it for the whole purpose. So that's why Washington Times was so blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bourneface. I do very much agree on him blessing the land and blessing the times. And I think very also inspiring about the factor you talked about that really be able to support. Yeah, I was like, once you wholly salt the place and really, like you said, get rid of Satan's dominion over this land, I feel like that's when things really flip over. So thank you so much for your sharing this morning. And really, yeah, it's very true about the places that your parents touch, and really the places that are getting flipped from Satan's dominion to God's dominion, right? All right. I wanted to ask one more person to share today. And maybe somebody from Chunchim one. If Myoga, if you wanted to share this morning. I don't know if you heard me.
Good morning. I like the part where she said on May 17th, 1982, after a great deal to effort to find a building, printing presses, and hire competent, dedicated staff, the first issue of the Washington Times was published. I think that's amazing because they were able to get the building together and they were able to have faith within one another and
So
really,
sorry. Can you move the mic a little closer to you?
yeah. Do you want me to repeat everything I said?
No, the beginning part is okay, but
Okay. Okay, I was saying that I like the fact that they were able to work hard together and put faith into one another to build this building in Washington Times and really not give up when times were challenging and it was difficult. And they had dedicated staff to keep the building together, just like they have dedicated staff in Korea, all over the world, in different places True Parents has gone. And I think that's really beautiful because when you have faith and you believe, you can make things happen. And they didn't just do it for themselves. They did it beyond themselves. So that's my takeaway from the reading. Thank you.
all right, thank you. Thank you, Myoga, for your sharing this morning, and very much true that they had faith and really did it for the providence. So yeah, so thank you, Myoga, and thank you, Mr. Boniface, for your sharings this morning. And we're gonna go ahead and do a song before we finish up this with a 7-minute prayer. Give me one moment.
Are there times when you would love to have another address or phone number to use instead of your home address?
1 second. All right, let us take the next 7 minutes to pray and offer our prayer up to Heavenly Parents, true parents. So let us unmute and pray. Parents, beautiful day. At this time, it's
Our precious beloved
Heavenly
precious parents,
新しい9月の
can
月
you
を
see
捧
the
げていただ
life
きました。
Glory to God that
of our true
神様
parents?
お父様の第一重役
Please
で、
given the mission by your son Jesus Christ.
One of the weapons
Through
自分
the
の中
grace
に置き
and
ま
the
した。
the
meeting
life of
神
our
様
true
で
parents,
は何
used
が
to
全
speak
てが行わ
out
れておりま
the
して、
life of
God's
Jesus.
キリスト
word
のお考え
and
を
God
で
direction.
お母様が
It's just so important
定めてくださっ
for
た
people
原則
here
予定を
God's voice.
のがまな重要点関
There
係
are
を
so
考え
many
て兄
propaganda
弟姉妹と祈りながらその
and
一
also
日を迎えること
speech
ができます。
from media
幸いを心か
and
ら
the
感
books
謝申し上げま
and
す。
the people,
今やお父様
all
が
kind of
霊界
things.
にあられて
If
すべて
people
を
are
また
always that the
統
middle
制され
point,
導いてくだ
the
さるのが
heart
理由です。
direction is a life
お
direction
父様と共に
makes a
精進にも
decision.
信心にも
It is so
そし
hard
て四人にも
sometimes.
不人にも義人にもそして
Heavenly Parent,
共に
even the
共
Washington
にご
time,
製品にも
we
その
already
も
lost the money,
先駆けて霊界に出した
couldn't
の
make
心
the
配されてい
profit.
た
So
そこに
many
ありましたたくさんのものを享受
However,
するとして今
it's our
私た
life
ちの命
that
が
the
神
Japanese
様を恐れる私たち
members
が
to put an
気を呼
effort
ぶものでございます。
to keep going
我が
to
友
their
お母様が
sacrifice,
今本
their
当に
tear
測れ
and
て
sweat
韓半島南北
in
統
that
一のために
newspaper,
成
Heavenly
長を
Parent.
図られる
Because of the
方たちが
sacrifice,
本当に
they
や
can
ってる
able
ことが
to
本当
complete
にどれほどま
the
た
American
それが
movement
本当に
going
こ
to
の日本
support
の地を
the
私たちも
Washington
しておられ
Times,
るでありませんか。
also
そ
New
して
Yorker.
世界中の
Even
私
though
の
we lose
その
many
祈り
properties,
が
which
の
Father
半島に集めら
touched
れ
us.
そして何よりも今
In
基本的
Paris,
薬事
even
を
though
中
we
心と
lost
し
the
て
building,
の
Father, who
関係
people
その
belong
半
to
島におけ
there,
るその教会が本当に今失わ
that's
れて
never been
私
finished,
たち
Heavenly
の
Parent.
両国それに対して
People
こと
who
を
study
教会も
seminary,
でございますし
that
私
will
たちもこのア
continue
メリカ
in
に
the
ありまし
each
て
person in the
そ
heart
のいた
level.
だくそのリバースワークショップを
Sunday,
本当に
we
体験
began
中心として
a
出
building
発している
which
も
a
の
mother
であり
left
ま
and
した
a
けれど
father
も
and a mother
ア
left.
トランタに教会日本そしてまた
Heavenly
その
Parent,
研修をいただき
let always remember,
そのまた
as you
教会
know,
を復旧する
and the physical
技
building
術をまた
is a
思い
gradual
ます本当
decline,
にこのアメリカにも
but
新しい霊的な
we
復
got
興
the
がなされ
education
それだけ
in the
ま
heart
た教師
of
が
the
生きた
never
神を
be
実感しまたそ
destroyed
の
and
人
decline.
となる時その心情を持って
Heavenly Parent,
霊界からの恩が
I truly
その人
pray
のもとに
to
そ
the
の
God's
なす
word
べき
is
使用
keep
天国を
going to spread in
一
the
人一人
world
のその心
through
の中に
many
響
ways,
きそしてまた
especially
そのたくさんの
the
人に
heart
どうかこの
of the people.
血の染み汁になる伝え
I
が
truly
お
pray
父様
for the true
11
Father,
11は
heavens and
ど
sent
れほどお母様
and
に
the
とって
Lord
父
God.
がこれにしてあ
Also
らゆることを
pray
本当
for
に
the
思う
success
思い
for
お
North
父様
and South
どうか
to
密か
unification,
な歩みでありましたけれども
which is your
お母様か
desire,
らいただいた
on
この
cherishment
スペシャルグレイスの
the
そ
life.
の恵みを本当
I
に
pray
感謝申し上げな
North
がら
Korea
新
and
しい
South
出
Korea,
発のこの
they
地
can
点
see
に
the
立
new
たされ
point
た
of view
私たちでありますが
about the
どうか
movement
本当に一人一人
and
が
the new
求
point
め
of view
祈る
about the
そして
love
どうか
which
天のご霊様
Heavenly
一人
Parent,
一人
true
のその祈
parents
りを本当に引き届けてく
upon
ださいました
poured
夢
in
の中
in
に
this
一人
land,
一人
Heavenly
その
Parent.
心情をあなたが
God
伝え
prepare
ることができ
so
ま
long
したどうか
to put in the is an idea of their culture.
Pray for peaceful unification
I pray
of North and
that
South
people
America.
stood up
Let us
and themselves to ask God and directly,
right now,
and they can see themselves
already
make
talk
the
to
decision. What is
and
the
the
Thank you,
true
Henry.
parenting is
the
here.
things that's
Not to
going
hear that
on
somebody's
on
nervous
Heavenly
and
Father.
somebody's peace.
Pray
I pray,
to
I really pray to them. They can stand up to the search for the true parent. Also, I pray for the children outside of them
watch your mother
going around
let them know
that you can be on the loose through Chongwon. You can love the humankind and you can heal the humankind. You can reach out for the humankind through Chongwon. The establishment of the parents. The mothers give us so much vision originally God created, which is a joy. When we see the creation, how deeply your love is. All creation, the small and the big, such a so deep, deep love is in there. Heavenly Parent, I thank you so much you can recognize your love through creation as well. Heavenly Parents, there are our healing and taking place. I pray the Christian ministers, Christian society in America, they can be the kind of fulfillment of Jesus' promise. 144,000 first fruits to be realized. I pray for Mark Adams. They can stood up. Life is a struggle and difficult yet. Heavenly Parent, now you are reaching because of the Christianity was almost perished. They have a same heavy burden behind them. Personal breakthrough that the barrier would be recognized. The grateful I really pray for Christian society in America and the world. They build a foundation for the true
Thank you
parent.
so much.
Everything is
I
for
record
true
this
parent.
finally.
It will be accomplished that Jesus desire and dream to realize all children will guide for 2,000 years. And Heavenly Parent, thank you. Thank you so much. So today, Prophet Day, and the organizer, many songs, many prayers, and evangelism. Keep alive, keep alive with love, keep alive with love, keep practice, and all alive.
You. Oh. All right. Wait 1 second, or a couple seconds for people to finish their prayer. All right. Thank you, everybody, for today, day 102. So, as you know, we have a few announcements. The biggest one being tomorrow, or I guess a couple big ones happening today as well. But for tomorrow, we have Father Seonghwa celebration. We're actually going to have the celebration for tomorrow. As you know, this past week we had 11th we call it pledge service during Thursday. But in Korea, of course, it was the day after. So actually, his true Seonghwa was the day after. But we're of course celebrating it this upcoming Sunday with everybody and having a banquet and having really a service for the Holy Ascension of our true Father. And during this time, please bring white for the women and black and white for the men. If you can, it's not mandatory, but we would recommend bringing those colors for this upcoming Sunday to offer our funeral service. And yeah, so I think it was also, sorry, apologize. Yes, so, but yes, I think Mother has mentioned us to have a good attire, but also a good just have a good festival in general for this upcoming Sunday. And together we'll be really celebrating his ascension and his time that he's been here on this earth. And please, during this time, if you want to give a special donation for that 100, as you know, they mentioned $100 donation to the Ascension. If you want to offer that up during this Sunday, we do have envelopes for that. So please, if you're ready for that, then you can go ahead and offer it up during this Sunday. Also, if you want to offer a gift, please bring it this Sunday as well. And will be for True Father as well. So I believe that is all for tomorrow's announcements. But yes, all families and friends are invited to the celebration. So there you go. And then another announcement we have actually for today. We have two events today. Actually, one happened this morning, but that was on your own if you wanted to attend at 1:30 a.m. The other two announcements that one this afternoon is actually ladies' tea that's happening. And so if you're a lady and you like some tea, please join this afternoon for ladies' tea. Also, I think my wife just gave a flyer for the Father's Ascension, just so you guys, if you're curious about that. But yes, for ladies' tea, please join us this afternoon from 2 to 4 for this ladies' tea as well. Oh, yes. Also, please check your emails because all of these flyers and events are coming to you in emails. If you haven't received them, let us know at ihack@unification.org or dhack@unification.org or gtfccenter@gmail.org gmail.com. Sorry about that. And this evening as well, we have the 8 p.m. Chumbo ceremony as well. So those are announcements for today. Please attend the Chumbo as well if you need to. And I believe next week we'll have the Cleaning Ministries event. And then we'll also have a concert that's happening about 3 Sundays from now. So I guess a little over 2 weeks, 2 weeks in a day. And so other than that, those are all our announcements for now. So all our events are coming up. We have some. Yes, sorry. About the Chumbo, it's actually just wanted to mention also about the Chumbo. It's great works, essentially, not really a ceremony per se. I think that might have been just this morning. Sorry, I just wanted to go back on that announcement. But yes, so those are all our announcements for this upcoming month. And so we'll see you all today, this afternoon, or tomorrow at Sunday service, or tomorrow at the prayer vigil. So see you all later. God bless everybody. God bless everyone.
Thank you.